Good evening and welcome to the Doctor Model Training webinar. This is Marty Hofer calling from Park City, Utah. I've also got Dr. Jim Sandberg from Thousand Oaks, California, and we are thrilled to have you on our presentation tonight. And I'll just go ahead and dive right into it, folks. Do you realize that according to the American Heart Association, it's estimated that 81 million adults, basically 1 in 3, have some form of cardiovascular disease. And every single year since 1900, except the pandemic flu in 1918, cardiovascular disease is the #1 cause of death in the United States. Think about that, for over 100 years. According to the American Diabetes Association, diabetes has now become the fastest growing disease in American history. It's estimated that nearly 80 million Americans either have diabetes or pre-diabetic. These trends are approaching 1 in 4 adults, 1 in 3 kids, and 1 in 2 minorities right now either are diabetic or pre-diabetic. And according to the American Heart Association, it's also estimated that 2/3 of Americans have some form of high blood pressure. Think about that. 2/3 of all adults over the age of 18 are either hypertensive, 140/90 and above, or pre-hypertensive, 120/80 and above. And they call hypertension the silent killer because it actually has no symptoms. People could have fantastic blood pressure or terrible blood pressure, and you don't feel a difference. Now, I'd like to bring on Dr. Jim because we feel like those are the problems and challenges right now that we are facing. We feel like we have the solutions, and it comes from science, from Nobel Prize-winning science. So, Dr. Jim, are you with us?
Yeah, thank you, Marty.
Take it away, brother.
One of the things that really got me interested in this product, this wonderful product that we have, is that the science behind it is so strong. And actually, in 1998, 3 scientists won the Nobel Prize in Medicine for discovering nitric oxide as a signaling mechanism for the cardiovascular system. The Nobel Prize that's the big one. That's the #1, the most important thing in science and medicine that they found that year. In 1901, it was the X-ray. 1923 is insulin. 1945, penicillin. 1998, nitric oxide. And Marty, I actually have a quote from the head of the American Heart Association, and he stated when they won this award, one of the most important discoveries in cardiovascular medicine ever. So we have something special. Dr. Ignarro, who's one of the 3 scientists who won the Nobel Prize, he actually wrote a book, How Nitric Oxide Can Prevent, Even Reverse Heart Disease and Strokes. So if you think about that, if you've heard from Marty how big of a problem we have, and we have something from the Nobel Prize winners saying we can reverse cardiovascular disease, prevent heart attacks and strokes. Now, besides the Nobel Prize, there's more studies, and this is from a doctor's standpoint really what got me interested. There's over 100,000 studies on PubMed.gov regarding nitric oxide. PubMed.gov is where the government classifies all medical research. So the Nobel Prize in Medicine and 100,000 research papers on this product. Now, the Dr. John Cook, who's head of vascular research at Stanford University, he wrote a book also called The Cardiovascular Cure, and he talked about all the great things that nitric oxide does, but it also keeps the linings and blood vessels free of plaque. And in his book, not only does it stop plaque formation, arteriosclerosis formation, it can reverse it. And they never thought that was possible. So nitric oxide, it literally influences every single organ in the body, the lungs, liver, kidneys, stomachs, genitals, and of course the heart. And the main way it does that is it does it by being a vasodilator. And dilation or opening up of your arteries. And that is important because that allows us to get the blood flow that we need. The problem is we lose the ability to do that as we get older, and that's why we get high blood pressure and high cholesterol and high triglyceride levels, and we get plaque in our system, and we get adult onset diabetes. So L-arginine is actually the precursor molecule to nitric oxide. L-arginine is converted in the arteries to nitric oxide. Now, arginine also is known for relaxing the blood vessels, reducing stress on the heart and improving circulation, promoting healthy blood pressure levels, stimulating the release of human growth hormone, promoting healthy sexual function, and may boost energy levels, build muscle mass, and reduce fat. And there's also on L-arginine over 100,000 research papers. Marty, hold on to this slide for a second because I really want to stress how special this stuff is. I've got over 1,200 doctors using this product, and we're seeing probably above 98% of people with hypertension get normal blood pressure. And these are people that have fought hypertension for years, including my father, myself, including Marty. We've also seen some dramatic drops. We've seen up to 20 to 80-point drops in a week or less sometimes. And again, these are people that have fought hypertension for years. We also see the same kind of results with cholesterol levels and triglyceride levels. We also see great success with treating diabetes. Good friend of mine who I actually carpooled to chiropractic school with, Dr. Bob Dallison. We did a blood panel on Bob because we wanted to really check this stuff out before we jumped in. And Bob had had hypertension for 24 years, had been on 3 different blood pressure medications, and he still never got it below 135 over 85. And the 120 over 80 is kind of the gold standard. We want to be below that. Well, he took this for 2 days. The third day he did not take his meds, and he was under 120 over 80. Now, he got off all 3 meds very quickly. And if you test him now, he's about 100 over 64. Now, besides that, his blood panel showed in 9 weeks on this product a 44% drop in cholesterol, a 44% drop in triglycerides. Now, even more amazing than that, Bob had been adult onset diabetic for 14 years. And there are biomarkers in blood panels that you can measure to test for diabetes. And one of them is called an A1C score. So when we did his baseline, he showed him he was diabetic. 9 weeks later on his product, he was borderline diabetic. Now, we did another blood panel 9 weeks after that. And per his blood panel, he is not diabetic. That's proven. And this happens all the time. So we really have an amazing product. And again, not only with the results, but we've got studies to back it up. So go ahead, Marty. I'm sorry I took a little time on that. Now, this is one of the 200,000 studies that blows me away about what's happened. They actually did a study on pro-arginine at a cardiology center called the High Desert Heart Institute. And they basically took 35 patients that had congestive heart rate failure. I believe over 80% of these patients were also suffering from pulmonary hypertension and renal failure. I believe there are 3 patients also scheduled for amputation of the legs or feet due to diabetes complications, and a high number of them were heart transplant candidates. Now, these 35 patients, one of the patients actually got a heart transplant right when the study started, and another one dropped out due to compliance issues. But of the 35 patients, of 33, they had amazing results. And if you look at some of the basic findings, and again, these are the worst of the worst. Some of these people figured they had a few months to live. They were classified at the end of maximum medical care, which means medically they didn't think there was much more they could really do. And if you look at some of these basic findings, and there's even more, triglycerides dropped 39% in 90 days. The HDL cholesterol in men, which is a good cholesterol, an 18% increase. The HDL cholesterol in women, a 34% increase. Fasting blood sugars, a 16% decrease. Vitamin D3, which is a whole other subject how important this is, a 303% increase. And systolic blood pressure, a 13% decrease. Diastolic blood pressure, a 17% decrease. I've actually been to this cardiology center, and I've met some of these patients. And one of the patients that literally thought he had a few months to live. And the cardiologist at this center, Dr. Siva, it's hard for me to pronounce his last name, but he actually said he's never seen a medication that worked even as close for helping with, across the board, for helping with heart disease and diabetes. So we have something special here.
Well, thanks, Dr. Jim. You know, the company that provides this for us is equally as important as the product itself, and that's Nature's Sunshine. Nature's Sunshine was the first nutraceutical company to ever encapsulate an herb back in 1972. They now operate in well over 30 countries. They perform over 300 tests on product quality. They are such an impressive manufacturing facility and been doing this for over 40 years that in 2002, Nutritional Outlook ranked them the #1 nutraceutical manufacturer in the world. So this is who makes this product, which really separates it from what we feel all the competition. Synergy Worldwide is our company. Nature's Sunshine is our parent company that owns Synergy Worldwide. And Synergy provides this product, Pro-Arginine Plus, to help with those health challenges like we talked about. You know, cardiovascular disease, #1 cause of death and on the rise. Diabetes, fastest growing disease in American history, on the rise. all these different challenges that, you think about it, 2/3 of all Americans suffer from some form of cardiovascular disease right now. We've got the solution. And thanks to Nature Sunshine, we've got the product. Now we have a product that's backed by science. Like Dr. Jim said, there's over 200,000 published medical studies, one of which he just read, which is extremely impressive at the High Desert Heart Institute. But it's also a product that's measurable. Dr. Jim said that I myself had a great testimony. When I first got introduced to Synergy over 3 years ago, I had hypertension. My blood pressure was about 150/100. I got on this product and shortly after had normal blood pressure. In fact, I had my life insurance here checked recently, and my blood pressure was basically 110/72. So it worked tremendously for me. It also worked for my father, who was on 7 heart medications and got off all of his heart medications. It worked for my mother, who had extreme hypertension. Without her medication, it would be as high as 250/150, and she'd been medicated for 40 years. And she got on her product within 60 days. She had normal blood pressure for the first time in 40 years. So it's a product that we tell you it's going to work. We're excited about it. We share our enthusiasm about it. But most importantly, you yourself can know for a fact, just like I knew for a fact, that this product's working because it's measurable. And it comes with an unconditional 120-day money-back guarantee. So think about this for a second. If 2/3 of all Americans suffer from some form of cardiovascular disease, and we believe we got the answer for them, we also offer a risk-free trial for 120 days. Remember, Nature Sunshine is a publicly traded giant on the NASDAQ that offers an unconditional test drive. If you or somebody that you care about has an issue with this, we have them try the product, and if they don't like the results, they get their money back, no questions asked. Now, there's a lot of other reasons to focus on this, one of which that I'm extremely excited about is the financial opportunity. Because I learned a long time ago, wealth is created by creating leverage. It's not trading time for dollars, because there's only so much time in the day. So if you want to become wealthy, you have to create a mechanism that creates massive leverage, so it's no longer based on your efforts. Well, in our opportunity with Synergy, we simply share this product, and as people use this product, and what we found is they use it on a monthly basis for years and years, in some cases decades. And every single time they purchase the product from the company, we have the opportunity to earn a commission. So when we first get started, there's just a couple people, and then it turns in a few more people, and literally for me and my wife, January of 2010, excuse me, is when we kind of launched our business. And Synergy has paid us over $1 million in our first 3 years in commissions. We couldn't have done that on our own personal efforts. It's the efforts of a lot of people now. And when you think about the magnitude of people that need this product, and it comes with an unconditional money-back guarantee, we're that confident in it, the opportunity to just share with other people is massive. So as a physician, you have the opportunity to just buy the product and sell it retail. And we have an auto ship program where patients, and this is great because a patient may come into your office once, may not see him again for 6 months, may not see him ever again at all. Because the auto ship program, you can introduce this product to them. They order them directly from the company, so you don't have to inventory products. You don't have to worry about all that. They order direct from the company, and every time they order it from the company for the rest of their life, you as their sponsor can earn that 25% rebate on every single patient that you have. It's powerful. Basic commission is the engine. So from a network marketing perspective, we build 2 teams. And like I said, as you go out and you talk with somebody and they get excited and they want to get involved, they see the benefit of the product, or similar situations happen with what happened with Dr. Jim. Now he's got well over 1,200 chiropractors in his organization. And he has the opportunity of earning up to 10% of that total volume every single month. It's huge. What I love about the basic commission is just 2 teams. And so what happens if you're someone like Dr. Jim and you have the ability to bring in 20, 30, 40, 50 people? Well, they all go down these 2-team concepts, so it creates a lot of teamwork. Now, the most exciting part of our compensation plan is what we call the mega match. The mega match is where every person that you personally introduced this to. So I introduced this to Dr. Jim a couple years ago. If the company pays Dr. Jim $1,000 in basic commission, they're going to pay me $1,000 because I introduced him to the business. If they pay him $10,000, they're going to pay me $10,000 because I introduced him to the business. On every single person that you introduce to the business. Now, some of those may be little checks where you're maybe earning, $100 or $200 a month. Some of those could be pretty big checks. In my situation, we earn, several $100,000 a year just from that mega match portion of the compensation plan. The other aspect that I love about it, if I bring Dr. Jim into this business and I have the potential to earn dollar for dollar what he makes in his basic commissions, I'm motivated to help him. So it creates a tremendous teamwork attitude, because my income is going to go up as his income goes up. So the teamwork is huge. Now, there's some other benefits and tax benefits that come with this product. And, as a doctor and a very successful doctor, I'd like to turn the time back over to Dr. Jim, where he can kind of talk from his perspective with kind of the tax benefits and what he sees from this business opportunity.
Well, I actually, even before I got involved with this business, I was talking to my daughter, and she was 22 at the time, and I was talking to her because I have a business that I have great tax advantages where I can get write-offs that normal W-2 employees can't get. And I told her, no matter what, you need to get a home-based business for tax benefits. And since I've been involved in this business, I understand really how important it is for so many people. There's actually, and I got this information from Marty, there's a tax expert called Sanford Bodkin, and there's a number of other experts out there, but I really like his information. And he says that network marketing home-based businesses can result in an average tax savings of $3,000 to $9,000 per year. That's an extra $3,000 to $9,000 in your pockets for just having a home-based business. And some of these can include your cell phones, computer, internet, auto mileage, auto payment, travel, meals and utilities, entertainment, insurance, mortgage, and rent. If you're renting, you can actually write off some of that rent if it's a home-based business. You can actually pay spouses or children for work performed and for tax advice. So I'm going to tell everyone here, I think this is probably the greatest opportunity for so many people with ProArgi and Synergy, but a home-based business is something that everybody should have just for the tax advantages. Now, I'm going to tell you why I'm doing this. I was a successful chiropractor for 15 years. I've had a successful medical device company, and I've done well. But why am I involved in this? And I'm going to tell you the reasons why I'm involved and why you should consider it. And I think the biggest thing for me is a product. We haven't done the product really service. We've only had a short time with you here of really how amazing this stuff is. You heard some stories, but it does so much more than we can really go into in this webinar. This product, some of these studies, it improves immune function. It boosts human growth hormone production. I know anti-aging doctors that charge thousands of dollars a month to people for growth hormone shots. This does it naturally. You increase muscle mass, decrease fat. It helps with erectile dysfunction issues. Viagra was initially discovered as a cardiovascular drug but it didn't do so well, but it causes vasodilation. We get the same thing. It's used for asthma, for it goes on and on because we're increasing blood flow, increasing oxygen to every cell in the body. So this product, it is amazing what it does. It comes with a money-back guarantee. It's got science behind it. And from a doctor's standpoint, what else is really special? Like Marty said, it's measurable. And what do I mean by that? We can prove this product works. Now, I'm a little bit of a nutritional nut. I take about 20 different pills a day. Vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. I'm sure they're all good for me. But if I don't take them every day or for a year, or do take them every day for a year, I don't feel any different, and there's no way I can tell it works. With ours, not only are we going to probably feel more different, more energy, sleeping better, increase workout performance, but we can prove it works by testing. We can prove it works by a simple blood pressure test. We can prove it looking at baseline blood panels. So from a doctor, when we can prove something that works, and there's no risk to try it, it's the easiest sell I've ever been involved in. So the product, number one. Number two is the company that makes it. The company's stable. They've been around for 40 years on the New York Stock Exchange. I've toured their manufacturing facility 5 times. And the quality control tests that they do that other companies do not do, there's second to none our product quality. The second thing is trading time for money. What I mean by that is no matter how successful I was as a chiropractor or how successful I am in my medical supplies from a business, from a financial standpoint, I still have to work. And I'm literally trading time for money. Well, I've been involved in this business for about 18 months. And in a very short time, I'll probably match my income, and I won't have to work for it. Those checks keep coming in, and they keep growing because I've got other people that are involved in this business that are generating income. Third reason is tax advantage for a home-based business. It's, like I said, $3,000 to $9,000 a year. If you start today, literally, you start these savings immediately. I have in my medical supplies compared to my Synergy business. With my Synergy business, I have no boss. I have no employees. I have no workers' comp fees that I have to pay. I have no accounts payable. I have no accounts receivable. I make my own schedule. And if I want to take off a day or a year, I can. And if I want to go fish in Alaska with my friend Al, if I bring my cell phone and a laptop, I can still do work if I want to. And this another part that's very important to me too is upline and company support. And what do I mean by that? You know, when I started chiropractic and I started my medical supply, it was me trying to figure out how to make this company work, putting the time and effort in. And yeah, there were some people that helped me, and they wanted a lot of money per hour. Healthcare attorneys wanted $400 or $500 an hour. I had accountants that I had to pay. In this business, you've got so many people wanting to help you. They're lining up. There's people that I've met in this business besides Marty that are pretty much, what can we do to help and support me? And that's really nice when you have people that want to support you, and their success is based off your success. So that's very important to me. And then the other one is, as a businessman, I always look at, you know, what's the worst that's going to happen with this? What's the exit plan? Well, with a minimal investment, a couple $100, you can get started as a distributor. And there's a $24.95 sign-up fee, and you got to buy a couple $100 worth of product. The worst that's going to happen is you decide you don't want to do this business, and you send all that product back, and you're out $24.95. Now, I haven't had anybody do that, but it's a pretty easy sell when you say there's no risk to get into a home-based business, a $24.95 risk, and you've got the tax advantages that are going to make you $3,000 to $9,000 a year immediately. So, in conclusion, you know, we have a big problem. We have a big problem with cardiovascular disease and a whole bunch of other issues, and we have a solution. We have a miracle molecule called nitric oxide that won the Nobel Prize in Medicine. We've got over 200,000 published studies. We've got a company that is second to none, been around for 40 years on the New York Stock Exchange. We've got studies like the Hydras at 100 to 2. When you hear those results, it's amazing. We've got a product that you can measure the results, and it's got a money-back guarantee. So you can create a really nice residual income just by sharing a product that's really good.
Did we want to bring on Al?
Yeah, I've got a gentleman up in Canada I'd like to introduce, Al Bruce. I've actually never met Bruce or Al, but we've talked many hours over the phone, and he's been involved with this business for a short time. And Al, if you're there, can you give us just a couple stories of what you've seen about this product?
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Thanks, Marty. You know, I'm going to keep it pretty brief on my part. You know, I didn't have anybody approach me with this. I'm the fellow who actually went out looking for a small business. I've always done that. I've always believed in the concept of having a sideline, having another aspect of other than just your own 9-to-5 job. It makes just total sense in every way that we've already spoken with and spoken about tonight. But when I did all of my hours and hours of research on Synergy and the product, I was met with a lot of super exciting testimonies from people that I didn't know, and websites from you know, different areas that I was not familiar with, and they were very new to me. So it was all very great in a theory. It was all very great to look at it, but I'm telling you, it became very, very real to me when I started seeing actual results myself. No longer was it just theories for me or stories, which are all great, but I started seeing things myself. I mean, the bottom line is that if I'm your husband and your brother or your best friend, I'm going to tell you about a product, and I'm kind of going to reiterate here what Dr. Jim was saying, is that I can tell you it's the best thing in the world, and you're going to have to rely on me as a friend or a husband or whatever the case may be, on trust and faith. But the thing that really got me excited about this, as it was already mentioned, and again I'm reiterating this point and this fact because it's super important, is that it is testable and the results are measurable. So for me, I'm fortunate. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have any of the underlying issues that we've discussed. But I'm an avid racquetball player. I work out a lot, and the thing that I noticed very quickly after about a month of being on this product is the fact that my resting heart rate was lower, and my ability to relapse and go instead of 3 racquetball games, I'm doing 5 or 6, and winning, by the way. So I continued on, and since then I've introduced this to colleagues of mine, friends of mine. I'm actually seeing people come up to me and say, look, you know, my wife's blood pressure after years is now down. She hadn't been able to do it on meds, and now it's happening. Super excited. Another friend of mine, he's seeing his sugar levels and such drop for the type 2 diabetic. Just results that just mean a whole lot to me, because it's no longer a theory and it's real. So, you know, that's pretty much my story. It's all still very new to me, but you know what? I'm super excited to keep this ball rolling, and yeah, I'm having a lot of fun doing it. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, Al. Thank you very much. Marty, go ahead.
Well, I'd like to just thank Dr. Jim and Al for being on our webinar tonight. And in conclusion, folks, it's kind of like Dr. Jim said. What's the worst possible thing? What's the exit strategy? You know, the worst possible scenario is you get involved, you buy some products, you don't like it, you don't like the products, you don't like the results, whatever the case may be. You got 120 days to make that decision to send it back, the used containers, and get your money back 100%. But what's the upside potential? The upside potential is you may just introduce this product to someone like myself. Well, who am I? I'm somebody that had hypertension, and I'm somebody that likes network marketing. And when somebody introduced this product to me, and I got the results personally in this product, and I shared it with my mom and my dad, my brother, and other people that I knew, I now have tens of thousands of people. Think about that. Tens of thousands that have tried this product in the last 3 years because what it did for me, one person. So what's the upside potential? It's enormous. So you activate your position as a Synergy team member for $25. And like Dr. Jim said, $24.95, there's your risk. You purchase some product that comes with a 120-day money-back guarantee, and see for yourself if you get these results, and if your patients get these results, and your colleagues get these results. Because if they do, just like Al said, he's a little skeptical. He's building a huge organization. He's having success now. Dr. Jim, over 1,200 chiropractors signed up literally in just over a year. Myself, tremendous success because the product works. So you can get 4 cans for $50 a piece to get started. Or if you get 12 cans or boxes, you get a better price, $37.50 each. And if you get 52-pack, which a lot of the doctors will, you get it for $32. They all carry the same 120-day money-back guarantee, so regardless of which way you come in. But what we've noticed is that most physicians will sell, on average, the ProArgi-9 in their office for about $70. So you can see the more you buy, the better price you get, the more retail profit. So I want to once again thank Dr. Jim and thank Al for being on our webinar for it tonight, and challenge each one of you to get back with the person that have you did on the webinar. Take the challenge, get on the products, give it that 120-day money-back guarantee, and let's see if we can change your life. We appreciate being on, and have a wonderful night.